Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Infinite Snap, a Marvel Snap podcast. I'm ShadowDTV, also known in the real world as Richie. We've got my boy Justin here. How we doing, Justin?
Yeah, good, thanks. How
Good,
are you?
Good. I like the I can see the OG ShadowDTV top there from back in the day. The logo refresh has happened. I actually need to get some merch out, but that's another story. Guys, on today's episode, we're going to be going through the new season pass, and obviously that dropped today. If you're listening to the podcast later in the week, it dropped on Tuesday, and that came with a brand new card, which we're obviously going to talk about today. Justin, have you had any time to play with the new card yet?
I actually haven't played with Miles Morales, but
Oh, spoilers! No, I'm joking.
Sorry. Got some thoughts about him, which we'll discuss later, but he seems pretty good.
Okay, cool. Well, yes, we will go through Miles Morales in a moment. We've also got a ton of brand new information about the the global launch of Marvel Snap, as well as the future development. So we've got a development roadmap that we're also going to go through. So we've got a ton to get through today. I think there's some excellent things coming to the game, so really excited to talk about those. It's going to be really, really cool. And of course, how could we have an episode of the Infinite Snap podcast without playing everyone's favorite quiz game, Snap Who? So I believe today I will be trying to guess... I will be trying to guess a card, is that right? No.
I'll be trying to guess a card.
You're going to be trying to guess a card, that's right. So I will be getting... lucky, I did prepare something. Cool. Let's roll that intro and get straight into it. Oh, we already rolled the intro.
We already rolled the intro.
I already rolled the intro. We're going to roll it again. All right, guys, let's get straight into it. I'm so used to rolling the intro at the start, even though I decided that we'd roll it midway through. That's fine. I can edit it out. Guys, we have made the move to YouTube. If you haven't already, if you've seen the video on YouTube, so we're going to be live streaming on YouTube instead of Twitch. Main reason for this is we're posting the live stream to YouTube anyway, so this just makes it actually way more efficient. You guys can access it on YouTube a little bit earlier than your podcasting platform. So for those that use YouTube, you can get access to it a little bit early, which is great. And of course, you can watch it live. YouTube just at the moment feels like a more accessible platform. Not everyone that plays Marvel Snap necessarily has a Twitch account or uses Twitch, so it's hard to find someone these days without a YouTube account. So I thought it definitely made a lot of sense for us to live stream it here on YouTube. So very excited to be doing that. So Justin, what's been happening this week? Been playing some Marvel Snap?
Yeah, got some sad news.
Sad news?
Eating my words from one of the earlier podcasts that we did not make Infinite last season.
Oh no, you were pretty, not that you were confident you were going to make it, but you just said oh yeah, I'm going to put in the time. It was more a time thing because you've made Infinite before. I know you can definitely get there.
Yeah, it's not that. I don't know if you remember, but I said that they should make it harder to hit Infinite because at the moment it's too easy.
So yeah, definitely ate those words.
I have been playing a lot. So the first 3 weeks of the season, I was messing around with different decks. I'm Infinite can wait till later. It's going to be so easy, whatever. And this last week, I've been really trying to grind it out.
Oh no,
didn't get there.
That's actually quite funny because we've spoken about our thoughts on how hard it is to actually get Infinite, and we've both agreed, I guess, that it's fairly easy as the game is right now. But yeah, I guess maybe have your thoughts changed on that at all?
Yeah, so you asked me a question a while ago about do I think it'll be harder to reach Infinite once we hit global launch because there'll be less bots. Now I think yes, it'll definitely be harder.
Yeah.
Before my answer was maybe not. The bots are okay, whatever, cheating bots, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's definitely going to be harder to hit Infinite.
I'm glad you finally see the light. Well, it's actually, you know what? It actually when we do get the full global launch, then I will actually be able to see if what I said is correct, because I'm really just going on real players are obviously harder than bots. So I'm going on that. But for all we know, the could just be a bunch of noobs that join the game and make it even easier. Who knows? We'll find out. Or there could just be tons of pros and you just becomes impossible to hit Infinite. Time will tell. So, excited about the new season. We've got, as Justin spoiled earlier, I knew you were going to spoil it when I said, the new card, and I'm like, he's going to say it, isn't he?
Did not think about that.
So, Miles Morales Spider-Man is the latest card in the season pass. The season pass is called, what was it called? Symbiote Invasion?
Yes, Symbiote Invasion.
Symbiote Invasion. So that's it's a really cool theme. We've got some cool card backs that are in the season pass. We're going to go through the season pass with you guys as well. So we'll go through everything you get in that. But the new card is really, really cool. Miles Morales' ability is if a card moved the last turn, this costs 1. We'll bring the card up. So we'll go through it now. So there's the card. So it's a 4 energy card, 5 power. It is, but its ability is if a card moved last turn, it costs 1. So obviously great in a move deck. As long as a card moves the turn before, this only costs 1. A 5 power card for 1 energy is pretty good. Justin, thoughts?
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. 1 cost, 5 energy is an awesome trade. And I think in a move deck, obviously he just slots straight in, but also something as simple as Nightcrawler, which is used in, a lot of decks, or can be used in any deck basically. So Nightcrawler can move, and then you can just push Spider-Man straight in for 1 cost.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
those two can fit into any deck, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I think I think just straight away a move deck makes sense, like a traditional move deck. I'm sure there's other uses for the card, which time will tell. I did have an interesting interaction with Miles Morales today, which makes me question kind of how the ability works. So we'll go through that in a moment. I'm just trying to think, should I go through it now? Well, basically what happened was I played him at cloning vats. So I was playing a traditional move deck, and it just made sense. I was playing a Captain Marvel at 5 costs, so I just played Miles Morales instead at that spot, and then he would just become a 1 power card, which was really cool. A 1 cost card, which was really cool. So it made like Captain Marvel wasn't doing a whole lot for me anyway. And the card works really well. I actually won a game because I was able to play him on turn 6, which was really cool. But the interaction I had with cloning vats, so a card moved, he became a 1 cost card. I played him at cloning vats, but I also moved cards that turn. So he went into my hand as a 4 cost, but technically a card moved the last turn, and I also made cards move that turn, but he stayed a 4 cost. So I think the interaction is correct because he has to be in your hand for the ability to happen. It's not an ongoing ability where no matter what, as long as something moved last turn, he is a 1 cost card. What's your thoughts on how that works?
Yeah, it's interesting interaction. First thing that came to my mind when you started explaining that story is that you moved the card, he became 1 cost.
Yep.
You played him at cloning vats.
Yep.
When the card actually cloned, I assumed that it would be a 1/5 in your hand.
Sorry. So I'm talking about it I fulfilled the ability, but even that, so cloning vats generally clones the card as is with whatever power it has and whatever.
Yeah, correct.
So it actually came back into my hand as a 4 cost card. So I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it is intended. I did see some people on Twitter also stating things like Moon Girl copied the Miles Morales in hand, and it was a 4 cost, not a 1 cost.
That's really interesting.
It is quite interesting. It's almost like you get this buff of it being a 1 cost, but it is only for that specific card, not any duplicates.
Yeah.
But I don't think cloning vats generally, I'm just thinking, does cloning vats work like that for only power? Because I definitely know it keeps its power, but the cost, I'm actually not entirely sure about.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know even something like what else changes, like death or something. If you play death on a cloning vats,
does it come as that same power? Well, yeah, it would, because the discount is for the whole game, isn't it?
Yes, but then does the discount does death get back into your hand at say 4 cost and then the discount applies?
Or does it come back? Yeah, that's interesting.
Or does it just come back and apply the overall discount? You know what I mean?
I actually don't know that.
I'm not sure.
We've got people in chat saying that it's not a bug, it's a feature. I'm assuming they actually I don't know if they're just trolling or if they actually know that for a fact. But it kind of makes sense. It does make the card way worse, because as soon as I saw cloning VATs, I'm like, this is insane. I'm just going to be playing a 1 cost 5 power for like 2-3 turns in a row, and that is not what eventuated. So, I mean, the card's still good in a move deck. I'm just finding it hard to think of other uses for Miles Morales Spider-Man now. I guess I will have to experiment a little bit more, but in a move deck actually was pretty good in the limited time that I played. I had fun with the card. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about it. There's actually some really cool variants that we should actually look at. I've noticed that a lot of people in the Marvel Snap community, like, they just love the variants, which I think is really cool. I'm probably more of like a gameplay sort of person myself. To be fair, I collect like in real life trading cards, so I do enjoy artwork for sure. I think as a digital game, it just has less of an appeal to me. Like if I have something shiny in my hand, it's like, oh, look how shiny it is. Whereas when it's a digital card, I don't know. I don't get as hyped. Like with NFTs and everything, some people went absolutely insane with that stuff, and I was kind of like whatever. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah.
Like to date, I have not bought a variant in shop, but if I do unlock a variant from the season pass or something, then I'll use it. Like, it's awesome. But one reason is because they are expensive, but I'm not really willing to buy a variant to 750 gold over buying credits and progress, like potentially unlocking a new card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So
variants aren't a big deal for me.
Yeah. So I actually like the thing is, but I do enjoy looking at the variant artwork. Like, it's not like I don't enjoy the cool artwork. It's just having to have it in game is less of a priority. If these were real physical trading cards, I'd want every single variant.
Oh, different story.
Like, if these were physical cards,
and the prices would be all over the place,
and I wouldn't even care. Like, if I had to pay, $100 physical dollars for like a cool variant, I probably would. And I think that's the slight disconnect between a digital game and a physical game. Like, I think like if I could have some of these, we'll actually have a look at some of these variants because some of them are quite cool. I don't really have.
I know that. I've already seen a few comments about the basketball variant. I know people are pretty hyped for that one.
Yeah, so you've got this really cool one, which is really awesome. Sorry, I don't really have. I didn't actually have these set up, but we can check them all out thanks to Snap.fan. This is the one people are pretty hyped about. Hey.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
The basketball variant. It is very, very cool. Yeah, that is some cool artwork, I have to admit. And then we've got Pixel Miles Morales. That's pretty cool. You can actually, at least you can figure out what the card actually is there. And this is the last card. This is the last variant you get at the end of the season pass. And I actually really, really like this one. I think it's really cool. The whole just the whole upside down thing is like really, really neat. And I think like it's got like that kind of neon retro sort of like backdrop.
It's got that Miles Morales vibe.
Yeah.
Have you played the game?
I actually haven't. I haven't played because it was PlayStation only, wasn't it, for a long time?
Yes. Yeah. I want to say yes. I believe, on PS5.
Yeah, I believe it was like PS5 exclusive for a long time. It might still be. I'm not entirely sure. I think it might be out on PC now. But yeah, I think that was the reason I probably didn't actually play it. But yeah, maybe I should. I definitely.
It was an awesome game. You should definitely play it, and it's not too long. I feel like you can fit it in say 10 to 15 hours.
For sure,
it's pretty good.
I only hear good things about like the recent Spider-Man game, so I definitely I definitely need to do that. But yeah, so the card is like it's good. I'm enjoying it. I think it's better than Nick Fury that we got last season pass. Way better
than Nick Fury.
Yeah, like 100 times better than Nick Fury. Actually has some uses that aren't gimmicky. Like, you can actually throw it in a deck and it, like, I guess, win you a game. So yeah, jury's still out on how good the card actually is. I don't think it's like amazing or anything. I don't think it's the strongest season pass card we've gotten, but I don't feel as disappointed as the last season.
Definitely.
I think you probably agree.
I'm a little bit surprised that I think like Spider-Man is such a popular superhero across the board, like Marvel and across the board. Everyone loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're bringing this out before global launch. I feel like if this was the season pass at global launch, people would like go insane. Like
Well-
it would, it would give them incentive to download the game if they were like on the fence about it just because of Spider-Man.
For sure. It's funny you say that because this will be the season pass when the game hits global launch. So the game goes global launch in like 2 weeks. So yes, they'll only have a few weeks to play it, but it's probably even more interesting because they're not going to have enough time to finish the season pass, but they'll probably have an incentive, new game, new season pass to buy it. It's actually interesting because
that just backs up what I said. I guess I think definitely global launch Spider-Man, people will go nuts for it. I reckon
you actually will not be able to finish the season pass though, which is actually very interesting. I remember when we got the game in Australia in beta, it was halfway through the Thor season, so I didn't buy that season pass because there was no way for me to actually finish that season pass.
Although I bought the Thor season pass because you bought it as well. You have Thor.
No. Oh, did I buy it?
We bought the Thor season pass and we finished it.
Did we?
Well, I've got the Thor.
Do you know what?
I've got
no.
alt art. So...
I'm a liar. You are correct. You can finish it, and I did finish it because you unlock all of the missions, all 4 weeks worth, and you just have to finish them in a short amount of time. I'm sorry, you were right.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can buy it with the 2 weeks and still finish it. No. Yes, you are definitely correct. We did buy it. I do have Thor.
Yeah, we bought it. We got Thor, and the Thor variant art was the last.
Yeah. I'm so silly. Why did I think I didn't buy it? I'm just thinking it was like my second day playing Marvel Snap. I'm pretty sure I bought the season pass.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought I didn't. But cool. So I think great for global launch. Popular character, abilities okay. It's fine. And people that are playing the game for the first time are going to be unlocking new cards all the time. So I don't think it's too important if the card is like not amazing for them. Happy with this season pass. We'll see what happens throughout the next 4 weeks.
So did you buy the season pass already?
Yeah. I actually I was at work today and I actually had like a late lunch break so I could play a few games with it.
Nice.
So I pretty much bought the season pass right on 2 p.m. here in Australia when it came out, which was cool. So that's it's funny. That was one of the have you got the season pass? You haven't bought it yet, have you?
I did buy it. Not straight away, but I did when I got back from work. Yeah.
I'm being told in chat, no self-control. It's not about self-control. It's about enjoying the game. Okay, so that's the season pass. Actually, let's quickly go through what you actually get in it. I've been trying to set up an overlay so I can actually show the game because we're always talking about the game. We're always talking about Marvel Snap. So let's bring that up here. Here we go, cool overlay. So this is so I'm only at 3 right now, but so Symbiote Invasion, you get the Miles Morales card straight away if you purchase it. This really cool variant that we just showed you before, that you unlock at 50. So again, boosters, still a lot of collector's boosters in the season pass, which is kind of frustrating. Even the thing is, if the boosters were like part of the free track, I don't think it would be as big of an issue. But the fact that they're like in the paid section,
you essentially pay for the boosters. It feels bad.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me too much if they're Miles boosters, just because you're just unlocking the card and whatever.
Fair.
But there's also random boosters in there which are basically useless.
For sure. But I think even then, if you're gonna upgrade the card, you're probably gonna play with it, which means you're gonna get boosters anyway.
That's true.
But other than that, we got one card variant. We've got an avatar there. We've got sorry, that was a random variant.
I really dislike
Two
that
variants.
avatar.
The avatar, you don't like it?
Yeah.
So 3 variants. I'm just going to 3, 4 variants, 5 variants. So 5 variants, a cool card back, 6 variants. So 7 variants, including the final one at 50. That's kind of good. I feel like
you're getting your money's worth for the season pass.
For sure.
If you buy the variants on their own, they're 750 gold each.
So some of these card variants are free, but I think there's at least 3 random ones that you have to pay for. That's already your money's worth. That's definitely more card variants than in the past, as far as I'm aware. Sorry, so you get 2 random variants that are paid, which ends up being that's like 1,500, which is so you're already getting your money's worth there, which is kind of cool. I mean, I think season passes should be value for money, or else it's just like you shouldn't be paying more than what you get in it. Because I mean, the whole point of the season pass is, I guess, like a fairly cheap way to get some cool stuff each month. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Hopefully, collectors boosters get replaced with something. There are some new currencies coming to Marvel Snap, which we'll talk about in the development roadmap. But for right now, boosters are here to stay. So that's what you get in the season pass, which is pretty cool. So yes, a lot of boosters, but we get a ton of variants, a bunch of gold, plenty of credits, and there is a lot of free stuff you can unlock. So great for free-to-play players as well. Don't stress, you're not going to miss out on anything crazy. I mean, the card art variants and stuff are cool, but like not necessary to play the game. Yeah, so like pretty happy with this season. Yeah.
Pretty happy with this season. Also, just quickly, I'm just looking at the ranked rewards. We also get
let's bring that up.
variant at 70 in the rank rewards, which I'm not sure if we've had a variant in the rank rewards before.
We definitely have not. Let's bring that up. No, so we definitely. Oh, you can't see it on my screen, of course. So you're right. So you actually get a card art variant at 70, which is cool. I haven't unlocked anything. I haven't played my 10 games.
And then avatar at gold is really cool as well.
Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's a really cool avatar. And then we get at infinite, we get another card back this season. So previously it was last season it was a card back as well. Before that it was an avatar. So I think the card backs are cool. It is kind of like if you're a very casual player, like you're not trying to push infinite, it does kind of suck that you're not going to be able to have access to this card back. But I mean, I guess it's a bit of an incentive to actually try and push for infinite, so I think that's pretty cool. I reckon down the line they're going to make all these card backs available for purchase somehow. The reason what were you going to say?
They'll definitely make money off of that. Like if you see these awesome card backs that people are using, and you didn't even have the game back then. Like this is in beta, people are unlocking these cool card backs. Like I saw. I think it must have been when Wave came out.
Yeah,
There's
the first
cool
season.
Card back, which is like a trident.
Yes.
And it looks awesome. I mean, I've seen a couple of people playing it, and I'm like, wow, like I want that.
I don't have access. Yeah,
I don't have access to it. So if they bring those out for a bit of coin, guarantee you people buy it.
Bit of coin. So I agree with you. So my reasoning for that thought is, in Hearthstone for many years, every month you would get a card back for playing 5 games. No, so you didn't have to like get a high rank, but you'd get the card back, and then obviously a lot of players would miss some of those months, so they wouldn't get the card back. Then down the line, they basically released all the card backs, the monthly card backs for purchase.
Yeah.
So the people who had played every month for 5 years, they were kind of like hurt, like, oh, what was the point? I could have just bought them. But then it also meant that the people who came into the game later, who liked a cool card back from 2017 or 2018, had access to it. I think once the game expands and it's been out for a few years and has a ton of card backs, it is a good way to monetize it a little bit.
I think it's fair as well. Like just people couldn't have access to the game
for sure.
At the end of the day, it's only cosmetics. Like it's not a big deal.
Say you played and you got to infinite every month for the next 3 years. And then all of it, because, you're like, oh, I don't fear of missing out on the card back. And then in 3 years, just all of them are available for like $2 each or even $5 each. How would you feel?
Yeah, I guess. Well,
if that's the only thing you're getting for hitting infinite, like that's your only reward right now. Like with no leaderboards or anything, with no leaderboards.
Bad,
with no leaderboards or anything, there's nothing else to show, to show for it. Whereas if you hit infinite and you're in top like 500, that's something that you, I guess, have to show. In Hearthstone, they have the like infinite. They have like the highest ranked legend. They have like a special card back the first time you get there. That's, I guess, like something you can kind of show. Whereas this is a card back every month. Time will tell, I guess, if they monetize it. But I can definitely see it becoming a thing.
I can definitely see it happening
for sure. All right, so Season Pass, very excited. Looking forward to doing all my missions and playing it this month. Got to try and get back to Infinite again for that cool card back. Before we get into the development roadmap, talking about all the changes coming to Marvel Snap, let's talk about the featured locations for the week. First up, we had the new location, The Peak. This was a pretty interesting location. I should bring it up. But yes, Justin, do you want to walk us through what The Peak was?
Yeah, so The Peak is Each card in your hand swaps its power and cost. So we actually spoke about this last podcast because we had early access to it, whether we were meant to or not.
No. That's not the peak. Sorry, no, it wasn't the peak that we had access to.
Yeah, one of them was there was the Nexus,
Oh,
there was
sorry,
the
yes.
Peak, and
Sorry,
there
yes.
was something else.
Yes,
Yeah,
you were talking about the extra ones that you saw.
Yeah, the extra
Yes,
one. So
yes.
this was one of those.
Yep.
It's awesome with the Mr. Negative deck.
Yes.
Basically, like in an ideal scenario for me, I've got Mr. Negative in hand, turn 1. First location flips over. It's the Peak. Swaps Mr. Negative now because they've changed his power to a 1, so he changes to a 1/4.
Yeah.
It essentially felt like a buff to Mr. Negative while the Peak was a featured location. And then that's just like an instant snap there.
It was pretty. It was a pretty disgusting location. For the reason that if you have a Mr. Negative deck, that's what you played. There was no other deck that made sense to play. We spoke in a few episodes ago about the Triskelion, which was another location that people were really annoyed about because it was the featured location. It kept coming up, and I think it was you drew from your opponent's deck.
No, Triskelion is
fills your hand with random cards. That's right.
Yeah.
It fills your hand with random cards. So whatever deck you were playing, if that location came up, it pretty much just broke whatever you were trying to do because you now had to like clear your hand to draw more cards from your deck. So people complained about that, and I was a little bit defensive in saying that it was only for a couple days. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Like you could still play different decks. I've kind of changed my stance on that a little bit with the Peak. I did a stream of Marvel Snap for a few hours, and I was playing Mr. Negative, which was fine. But then there was a couple of other decks that I wanted to test and see how they went, and I just couldn't play them because every time the Peak came up, it literally ruined anything that wasn't Mr. Negative. And then I'd lose a bunch of games, or I'd have to retreat, switch back to the Mr. Negative deck, and then it was smooth sailing again. So
I've seen a few complaints about that, but also at the end of the day, like, it's only for a couple of days.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a big deal.
This is
all I saw when the Peak was a featured location, all I saw was Mr. Negative decks.
So
and
what if you're new to the
Mr.
game?
Negative,
Exactly.
you don't have Mr. Negative.
Correct.
Then it sucks. But just deal with it.
Just deal with it, guys. You heard it here first. Justin says just deal with it. No, I was definitely defensive about the featured locations up until now. I'm not saying that there's any major changes needed right now, but for those 2 days, I think if you're just playing the game, it's fine. You can like just play like the featured location. But when it comes to testing decks, for those 2 days, it was basically impossible. Like I was trying to test out a Cerebro deck, and I got the Peak like 3 games in a row, and I went, all right, let's go back to Mr. Negative. First Mr. Negative game didn't get the Peak, and I was just like super tilted because
I think it's really bad for content creators, especially because you're always trying to make videos with different decks, trying to try out different cards. But the featured location kind of just ruins that sometimes.
It actually makes it hard at the moment. I know there's going to be other game modes coming. It's going to get to a point where you will be able to like showcase decks without that being an issue, I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I do, like, say I've got some spare time on the weekend, and I go, okay, I'll make a bunch of videos today ready for the week, and there's a hot location like this week we had Elysium, is like, oh cool, like that location, all your cards cost 1 less, doesn't impact me super. Like it's not a super impactful one. Yes, it makes some decks a lot better, but I could still play any deck, so it wasn't like ridiculous. But if the Peak came out and I went to make a bunch of videos, it would basically be impossible. Like I'd just come up against Mr. Negative decks every game, and I'm just like that Cerebro deck, it literally does not work because as soon as the power switches, Cerebro became useless. Like his ability is he gives +2 power to all your highest powered cards, so your aim is to have them all the same power, but that doesn't work when the Peak happens. So it was frustrating in that sense. I think just because it's so focused on one archetype, like it wasn't like there was a range of decks you could play. It was pretty much Mr. Negative or nothing, or all the cards in Mr. Negative without Mr. Negative if you don't have him. Yeah, what's your thoughts?
I think just because Mr. Negative is such a highly used card, and it's probably a tier 0 deck right now, Mr. Negative. I think that's why. You don't reckon?
No, I'm not going to say tier 0. When it works, but there's times where you just don't draw Mr. Negative and it's like pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like
I'll say that.
The deck's pretty average if you don't actually use Mr. Negative. But like I can see what you're saying. When your combo hits, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
I think the deck that I was running had Lockjaw and Jubilee.
And Jubilee, I don't have Lockjaw.
Even if you didn't have Mr. Negative in your hand,
you
would still have a chance of pulling him out through Lockjaw or through Jubilee, which is awesome.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it is definitely a good deck. Time will tell if it stays that good. But yeah, so I guess that location felt kind of bad. And then, yeah, well, you were fine with it, as you said before. Yep.
Yeah, I was fine with that featured location. Elysium was just so fun to have as the featured location. It doesn't matter if some decks work with Elysium better or not or whatever, but like it just makes every deck so much more fun to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Your combos just come off like every single game.
So Elysium was the hot location. So I finally featured locations are the 2-day, the 48-hour location, which is usually a new one, and then the hot location is like the weekend location for 24 hours. And that features, I think, like 60% of the time from what I've read, whereas the featured is, I think, 40%, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. Probably wrong. But so, yeah, Elysium was the hot location. It was actually really fun. It's kind of funny because I didn't play that much over the weekend, but then I had like a brainwave this morning. I was literally getting ready for work and had this brainwave of everything being cheaper. There was some broken combos with like Wong Mystique Onslaught, which you could have used because everything is cheaper. So you can play Wong on turn 3, Mystique on turn 4, Onslaught on turn 5, and then like drop like a Spectrum, for instance. And Spectrum would go off
buffs everything.
Just literally everything
times.
Like a bajillion times.
Yeah.
But or like you drop an Iron Man there and just like it goes nuts, yeah. But I just had like a brainwave. Like Wong Mystique Onslaught's always been a combo if you can pull it off with with Elysium or like other card interactions. Whereas I'm like this location every game just lets you pull off stupid combos. So I was kind of bummed that I didn't actually like have much time that day to test one of those combos. But yeah, other than that, I think locations where like Elysium feels okay because it doesn't restrict you from playing the deck you were already playing. And
it helps every deck.
Yeah, and obviously the whole point of the featured locations is to try out new decks, try out new cards. So I always think like that part of it's fine. Like sometimes your deck might not be as good as it normally is, but you don't want it to everything except one deck to be completely unplayable. So I think I think they just got to be careful with what the featured locations is and how much it breaks the game. We'll see what happens in the future.
I think also the way you have to look at it is like with other card games, like we play Pokemon, when a new set comes out, they have a couple hundred cards drop, and there's a meta for, what is it, like 2-3 months until the next lot of cards come out.
For sure.
With Marvel Snap, you get one card a month at the moment, and so there's not like a constant changing meta, but that comes from the featured locations or the hot locations. It's like a mini meta. So it's we shouldn't look at it as it makes this deck unplayable. We should look at it kind of, I think, as like, this is kind of the meta for the next 2 days.
I actually like how you're thinking about it because I guess when you compare it to another game, we get stuck with a meta for like 3 to 4 months in other games.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like a 2-day meta, and I guess for instance, if we were playing like Pokemon as an example, and there was a really broken deck, which I mean has happened in the past, and that is the by far tier 0 deck for the next 3 months. There's very rarely bans or in the Pokemon trading card game, so you're generally just stuck with that meta for 3 months, even if it's a disgusting meta. So
like when Mew came out in Fusion Strike, and it was probably the tier 0 deck by far, and for probably also like
like
probably also
next
like
set,
two sets. So we're stuck with it for like 6 months.
It was like arguably like a tier 0, maybe like 0.5 in that first 3 months, and then even the next 3 months, it was still like definitely tier 1. It was pretty disgusting. And I guess when you make that comparison, having to deal with a broken tier 1 deck for 2 days isn't as bad as like 3 months. So yeah, I think when you put it that way, I'm starting to think about it a little differently now that you said that. That's some good insight there. I think
I think it works well for Marvel Snap. It's a different game.
Yep.
Ideas are different. I think the featured locations and hot locations work well for them.
Cool. Well, that's the featured locations for this week. Justin, I've been playing a Sandman deck for the first time this week. I don't have the deck list up because I'm still learning it, still like changing cards around, but basically been using Sandman, swarming the board like early turns with things like Ebony Maw and some like cheap cards, like 1-cost cards, and then dropping Sandman on turn 4 to, I guess, like try and just outpace my opponent. So by the time I get to turn 4, especially against like a Mr. Negative deck, it's actually pretty nuts because by the time they play Mr. Negative, they can only now play 1 card each turn. So
Sandman is an awesome card that not a lot of people play.
No,
I haven't come up against him a whole lot, and I haven't used him myself. I find that he can just make you brick so easily, even like a discard deck where you're wanting to play multiple swarms, or
for sure.
A destroy deck where you're trying to play a card plus Deadpool each time, or something along those lines. Sandman is awesome. I think like he can also brick his own deck. That's like what I've seen, but with the deck that you're kind of saying, if you can flood the board early, that would work really well.
Yeah, so that's the point. So like getting Ebony Maw out is like usually like, you can't play cards there. But if I can get that to like 10 power, another location to even like just 5 or 6, Sandman comes out. Turn 5, I'm dropping like, let's say, an Iron Man. And then turn 6, I'm dropping like Spectrum and buffing all the ongoing cards, like the cheap ongoing cards. And then even though they're able to play like, turn 5 and 6, they can play one big card. Just swarming the board early can just... there was games where like, I've only been playing it a few days, but there's games where I like play that and then they play something and I'm just like winning all 3 locations. And they just have to...
Awesome.
And they just know that they like from that point, there's no way for them win. You probably don't get to snap it. You probably don't get 8 cube wins as often, but you can definitely just grind out cubes, I reckon. So yeah, that's what I've been playing this week.
I guess people can see if, by turn, if you play Sandman turn 4, they can look at their hand and say, I'm just not going to win this, and they may probably retreat. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I think like the main cards were like my big drops were like Sandman. I had Iron Man in there. I got Claw in there. So if I've got like an Ebony Maw at a location, I can use Claw to buff that location as well. And then Spectrum is like my main turn 6 play. I think Blue Marvel might have... I think I was testing Blue Marvel as well. I'm still tweaking the deck list. Maybe I'll have something a bit more solid next week if I don't get obsessed with the Miles Morales card. What have you been playing this week? Let me guess.
So I don't want to talk about Mr. Negative because I spoke about him probably the last 2 podcasts. I was playing... I unlocked him. I was playing him a whole lot. I will say that I unlocked Sarah, so she went straight into that Mr. Negative deck, and that was awesome. But today I unlocked Death.
Yep. Oh, cool. I don't have Death.
Yeah, awesome card. And that went straight into this deck list. If I can quickly get that up.
That's all right. Yeah, grab it. So yeah, Death is a 9-cost card.
Yeah, 9 cost, 12 power.
But for every card that's discarded. I can just bring it up. For each card that's destroyed or discarded? Discarded. Oh, sorry. Destroyed. Death is destroyed. Destroyed, yes, of course. For each card that's destroyed, it costs 1 less.
1 less,
yes.
Yeah, right. So in the deck, I've got the Hood, I've got Deadpool, Nova, Bucky Barnes, Carnage, Venom, Killmonger, Hulkbuster, Sabretooth, Deathlock. They're like, the 1-cost cards you're basically trying to destroy constantly. Yeah. Especially Deadpool. And then for a 5-cost, I've actually got Taskmaster. Now,
Taskmaster? No, I've seen this play.
Taskmaster is awesome. Yep. I think I sent you a screenshot before. I don't know if you saw that. So what happened was...
Sorry.
Yeah, so what happens is, like, say turn 4,
Yep.
I'll play I'll build up a location. Turn 4, I'll play Venom. Now Venom will eat all those cards,
Yes,
and
yep.
he can get to 20 power quite easily. And then on turn 5, you play Taskmaster, and he also just copies Venom's power, which is 20 if you can get it that high.
For sure.
And then or if that doesn't work, you just get death down low enough, and then if death is sometimes you get death down to a 1 cost, and then on turn 6 you can go death and Taskmaster, which gets you 2 12-powered characters. So it's a pretty cool deck.
So that's the combo that happened to me. It was death and Taskmaster.
Yeah,
and I was just like, did not see that one coming. But yes, I still won the game, thankfully. But it was pretty cool when I saw it. I'm like, that's a great combo. I don't have death unlocked, so I haven't actually been able to test it myself. But it's funny you mentioned the hood. I did unlock that this afternoon. I just don't have any other good destroying cards to use it.
The hood works really well.
For sure.
The other win condition, or the other use for Taskmaster is if you can destroy Deadpool basically each turn and buff him up with Hulkbuster, you can get Deadpool to
pretty strong.
I don't know, easily a 10, but sometimes up to 15 plus.
For sure, yeah.
And
I've seen him
he's only 1 cost, so on turn 6 you could go for a Deadpool Taskmaster.
Oh, those are some great
cool.
combos.
It's a good deck, yeah.
So Taskmaster is we'll bring him up here. Oh, there's no card art. Oh, there we go. On reveal, you set this card's power equal to the power of the last card you played. So obviously in the deck that you just described, there's actually a lot of combos. So you can copy Death.
It's usually a Death, a Deadpool, or a Venom.
Or Venom.
They're the highest powered cards that I'll get, yeah.
Yeah, when I look at that card, I go, yeah, there's so many cool things you could do with it. But in a deck that's, I guess, kind of focused around Taskmaster and Death, it's pretty cool. Do you have Destroyer unlocked?
I don't have Destroyer unlocked.
Yeah, neither do I. I've barely played Destroy decks because I'm just missing Death. I'm missing Destroyer. I just don't have the cards to make a solid Destroyer deck. I've messed around with Venom and Deadpool and stuff, but they're kind of not as good without these other cards, I think.
Yeah, I was playing a Venom Deadpool deck for a while last season. That's one of the decks that I was stuffing around with, but it wasn't reliable. But now Death makes it really good.
That's cool. Well, so those are the decks we've been playing this week. How about we get into the development roadmap? Now, I've seen bits of the development roadmap, but I haven't actually done a deep dive into it. I've just seen things here and there on Twitter. So let's go through the roadmap. We're not going to read every single word, but we will go through all the big changes that are coming. It's pretty crazy, the stuff that the few things that I did see. So goodbye beta, hello future, which is it's very exciting that we're going to be coming out of beta soon. First,
I haven't read through this either, so this will be really interesting.
That was I kind of wanted to leave it for the podcast so we could go through it, and I guess not even a live reaction, but just have a discussion around it. So Marvel Snap launching on October 18th, which we already know. A lot of games I guess online services have roadmaps, which I think is really good for the community because you know what to look forward to. It's not just here's the game, we'll add stuff when we get to it. It's this is what is coming now, this is what we're planning to bring, and this is what ideas that we have, but we haven't actually actioned them yet. But it just gives you...
It's awesome with the transparency from the developers.
Yes.
Just so they can also get some feedback before they introduce this stuff.
Yeah.
Some people might think, oh, what are you doing that for? If they get a huge amount of people saying this is really good or this is really bad, then they can just react to that before these things come out.
So it's funny you say that, because the first thing they write here is, what we can promise you is that your feedback in places like our Discord community will have an impact on what we prioritize or focus on, as it already has throughout beta. So exactly what you just said, their plan is to obviously take in all the feedback. So they've got 3 categories here on the roadmap. There's coming soon, which I believe is stuff that's going to basically come with the
global launch.
Yeah, let's have a look. Our quality assurance team scrape over all the little details to ensure we have as smooth an experience for players as possible. Once features are coming soon, we can start to plan release dates, timelines, and share insight. Okay, so this is the stuff that's coming, not necessarily with the global launch, but it's coming first. So we've got global mobile launch. Okay, so that already tells me that we're not getting PC. So it says here PC early access. So I guess we're going to go full global launch on mobile, and then maybe hopefully on the same day we will get PC early access.
I think that's been confirmed. I think
Okay.
there's a PC beta on the mobile global launch day.
Yes, cool. Because it's already it's already shows up in Steam. I haven't actually looked at it yet, but I did see some people tweet out that it's showing up on Steam for PC. So that's the thing I'm most excited for as a PC client. Doing content creation, it's just easier to have a PC client than using the mobile client. And then having the mobile client on my phone is great for when I'm sitting on the couch. That's what I'm most excited for. We've got here localization, so 13 different languages is, I believe, what they're aiming for, which is cool. Yeah, in 13 languages. We've got the welcome bundle, which I believe is going to be like for starting the game. You get some like free stuff, I guess.
It'll be cool. I'll be interested to see what they bring out.
Yeah, which is cool for new players. It's like a little bonus, I guess, when you start the game. A reward delivery inbox system. So I guess that kind of feels very mobile game-ish, where you get a reward and it goes into your inbox and then you can claim it from your inbox. I think that's fine, rather than having to go into all your different, go into your collection level, claim everything sort of thing. And I guess with a delivery system, you could kind of just randomly drop reward. Sorry. This would have been a useful feature when we had the Nexus events cancelled and had all our credits refunded. Sorry, our gold refunded. A delivery inbox system, they could have just put the gold in there and you could, visually see how much gold you got back. Whereas it just appeared in our account. So I guess things like that, they can definitely use a delivery inbox system. I think that's cool. And then we've got here the variant rarity system. So they've got some more in-depth information about the variant rarity system. So I saw this number and I thought it was absolutely insane. We're going to have over 1,000 card art variants available in Marvel Snap at global launch. 1,000 card art variants.
How many are there currently?
My brain just exploded when I read that. I actually don't know what the number is. Maybe we'll have a look at that. But if there's going to be 1,000 card art variants, I can't imagine there's 500 now and they're adding 500. There has to be close to 1,000 already. Oh, sorry, here we go. Yeah, it's not like they're just dropping 500 pieces of new artwork. We have to be I guess, how many cards are in the game? Let's say there's 150 cards, 130. Let's just guess 150 cards.
Game.
What is it? 100. Let's say 120. You'd need what? I guess you'd only need 6 variants for each card. 6. My math is awful. That is awful math. 6 times 12. No. So 8 variants for each card. Around that.
I'm gonna count, which will give us a rough idea.
Okay. How many cards there are?
How many variants there currently are?
Are you counting the variants or the cards?
The variants.
You're counting every variant in the game?
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
I have a list of of all the variants in the game currently.
Okay, well, you start doing that. I'm going to continue going through the variant rarity system. So there's going to be 1,000 card art variants at global launch, which to me is absolutely insane. My reason for saying that's insane is, as a collectible card game, it is impossible that you're ever going to get 1,000 art variants in the, what's it been, 4 months, 5 months at the game by the time this happens. 4 to 5 months the game's been in beta. Imagine in 2 years when there's 3,000 variants or 2,000 variants. You're just never feasibly going to be able to have every single variant, which I think is kind of sad in the way that if you're a collector, you want everything and it's going to be almost impossible to do that. But I I understand the variety. There's different artwork, different styles. So I mean, it's cool that they have that much artwork, but I also think it can kind of be very overwhelming as well. So the important thing with the variant rarity system is that 75% of existing variants will be now labeled as rare variants, and their cost will be reduced from 750 to 700 gold, which in my opinion isn't a big deal. It's not that much of a discount. You'd have to buy 14 variants for 14 variants for you to have enough of a saving to buy another variant. or 15 actually. So it doesn't like jump out to me as well. What a discount! Like that's so great. So chat has said 192 cards.
Oh, I'm glad I gave up.
So 100.
I gave up counting. There is a lot of variants. I'd say they'd easily have like upwards of 700 variants already.
Thank you, Drugor, in chat. 192 cards. I guess it's not that many variants for each card. So I guess it does make sense that they're at 1,000, but that still blows my mind. I reckon I've seen no more than 150 variants, like max. Like
yeah, I agree. You usually come up with the same, like you see the same variants pretty often.
That's right. So these rare variants will now only cost 700 gold. You can also earn these variants in collector's reserves on the collection level track. There'll be your mystery card art variants and in the season cache at the end of each season pass. The remaining 25% of variants will become super rare and will only be available in the shop for 1,200 gold. Each season pass will also include a number of limited time exclusive super rare variants. So
these super rare variants are only available in the shop. They're not going to be given to you as rewards at all.
Correct. So, well,
they
no.
Better
so,
be some awesome variants.
So, to correct you, you will get exclusive super rare variants. So, for instance, that Miles Morales variant you get at level 50 would be a super rare. So, that would be the only way to get the card is by buying the season pass and completing it. But yes, there will be super rare cards that can only be bought, like the regular super rares. It sounds weird saying like regular, but the super rares that aren't from the season pass will be in the shop for 1,200 gold, which is a pretty big price hike. And it says the season pass, will include a number of limited time exclusive super rare variants, which would just be your level 50 sort of unlock and maybe a couple of others in there. So it says as part of this update, we're adding 75 new rare variants and 25 new super rare variants. So that kind of gives us an indication that they already have 900 or more variants in the game, which is so 981 variants in total, including the base cards currently in the game. So yes, so we'll be including the original artwork will be over 1,000. I think adding a rarity system is fine. Like it feels kind of like a traditional card game where you the rarity of the variant doesn't actually impact gameplay, but you can get like cool effects and things like that. There's some images here below of some artwork. I guess that's trying to showcase, maybe what like this Lady Sif looks really cool. I'd say that, this hollow effect on the sword and shield. Sword and shield season pass. Anyone? But nice. The sword and shield have like this hollow effect. That looks to me like something like a super rare variant. Obviously, there's going to be some cool effects in game. When you tilt your phone, you get those cool hollow effects and reflections, etc. So I think it's cool to have variants, different like rarities. So it's not all the variants are just like here's a piece of artwork, 750 gold, everything's equal. But 1,200 gold, and that being the only way to acquire them, it seems like a lot of gold for one artwork for one card.
I don't mind that actually, because if you really like a character that you use in your deck, or you just really like a character in general, you're happy to pay that 1,200 gold, it's good to know that no one can actually just get that variant randomly.
Yeah,
because it's like you've paid for it. Not everyone pays for it. You won't see it that often, which feels good.
Okay, hear me out. So let's say you make regular ones 500 gold and make the super rares 750 gold, and then it's still the same principle that they had to spend 750 gold to get it?
I definitely think they're too expensive, yeah.
Like what's 1,200 gold now? What's the small... I think I did the calculation, and the smallest bundle in Australia you could buy was 1,300 gold, I want to say, and that was $30.99. So the minimum you can spend to buy one super rare variant was 30 Australian dollars, which is like, that's like an hour's work. Like, that doesn't sound like much, but if you want to build a full deck, that's more than a full day's wage to build a super variant deck. Rare variant deck.
$30.99 Australian for 1,450 gold.
So you get 1,450, which will get you one, and you have 100
and a little bit left
150 left over, which you can't spend on anything right now in the shop.
Yeah.
So it just feels... So this happened in Hearthstone recently, where they introduced a currency system, and out of all the bundles you could buy, none of them, they always had like gold left over, or like the premium currency left over. And that just sucks in my opinion, because I don't want to say too much about it.
I think that's how all mobile games work.
I know,
because
but
it entices you to spend more money, because you think, what am I going to do with the leftover 250 gold or whatever it is?
That's the problem.
Oh, hang on, I'm going to buy another bundle or another bit of gold, so then I can get another variant.
So I think for an adult, you have the mental capacity to go, okay, I'm just going to buy this one super rare variant, and my extra gold, I'll eventually earn enough gold to buy something else. It's fine. But if it just feels really, I'm not, and look, this is not exclusive to this game. It's like you said, pretty much every mobile game does this, but it's like a little bit predatory in that if you're like a kid and you're like, hey mom, hey dad, whoever, can I buy this thing? And they go, yeah, no worries, you can buy one. And they get this bundle and they've got this extra gold. It's like enticing them to be like every week, hey, can I buy more? Can I buy more? I need this bundle because I'm missing this like 50 gold. I'm missing 50 gold, so I need this $45 bundle, so the math works out that I get enough to get, 2 variants.
But they also give you gold. Like you also get free gold.
That's always the argument though. It's like,
it's not like a huge deal.
But then
in my eyes anyway, but I know what you're saying. A little kid will be like, oh, well, I've got this leftover gold. How am I going to spend it? Let's buy some more.
And that defeats your argument in that, I had to spend 1,200 gold to get this super rare variant. What if I just earn the 1,200 gold from playing? And then I buy the card. It's the same thing. You still
have to spend the 1,200 gold.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not like a exclusive premium currency that I can't get any other way. Look, I think it's fine to have like variants. I guess pricing is a completely separate discussion, to be honest. I guess the artwork is cool. The super rare variants are probably going to look friggin' sick in the game. So I guess all of that stuff is cool. We always lose Justin. This happens every stream. He's still trying to work out his technical issues, which I am now going to work out. He's back. He's back. I was just laughing. I was just laughing how this always happens.
I don't know why it always happens at about the hour mark.
It is quite interesting actually that is it's like a timed thing. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Oh, good. So I always just cut it out. I'm just bringing up my notes. Where was I? Cool. Yeah, so I guess they're separate conversations. So they're separate conversations on money and the artwork. Artwork's cool. Looking forward to seeing some of them in game. Money, I guess, is technically a different discussion. But I do hope they don't keep getting more expensive, is basically all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Yeah. Cool.
Have you looked through all of the variants online?
Oh, no, I haven't. Have you?
Me neither, no. I think it's so awesome when I'm playing a game and I see a variant that I've never seen before and I'm like, oh, wow.
How cool is this?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's all the coming soon stuff. We've also got in development. So this is stuff further down the track. There's no timelines or anything, I guess. There's no like public facing timelines that are being organized right now to give to us. We've got an unranked mode. Which is I've literally pretty much everyone has been screaming for an unranked mode. A battle mode versus friends. Now, this is something that I did read and it's really cool, so we're going to check that out. Collector tokens, which is a new currency in the game, which is, I guess, it's I'll leave it up to you guys to form an opinion. PC widescreen UI. Now, I find this very interesting because PC early access is coming soon, but PC widescreen UI is further down the track. So are we just going to get a PC client of the mobile game? Because if that's the case, it seems kind of lazy in that...
It seems to be. That's how I read it.
But is it going to be like it's... Okay, let's say... Okay, maybe it'll be like you get like the mobile game, but there'll be artwork like on the widescreen part. Because if I'm literally just getting the mobile client, it's going to be like whatever. Yeah, Chatter just saying like we're just getting like the emulation pretty much that we already have access to in BlueStacks. We'll find out. And then titles, which I'm assuming are like titles under your avatar. So like, you know, a lot of games have titles like that where it'll be like, you know, noob or, you know, infinite player, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see what they have to say about it. We've got, so what's battle mode versus friends? We know you've been asking how you can play against friends. And I mean, me and you love playing like online card games against each other. So this is something we will definitely use. I think it'd be great for content creation, like being able to like verse, like, you know, two streamers or two content creators versing each other. Like for a video or for, I guess, a more competitive way to play Marvel Snap, like, you know, tournaments, things like that. So
this is actually really interesting. Do you want me to read that? It says,
go for it.
It says, in battle mode, each player starts with 10 health, and the winning player deals damage to their opponent equal to the stakes of the game. If you double down and snapped, you'll do 4 damage to your opponent instead of 2, or retreat early and only lose 1 health. Players will play a series of games against each other with the same deck until one player has no health left. That is really cool because it takes, you know, snapping means nothing if it's a friendly.
Yep.
And it uses the snapping mechanic, which is what Marvel Snap is based around.
Yep.
And it uses it, in like a different light, which is awesome.
So we, in an early episode of Infinite Snap, we spoke about me and Tom spoke about what we thought. I forgot we didn't even mention Tom was away for the episode. Tom has been.
We forgot about him.
It's been 2 weeks now. Nah, Tom's super busy, but he's hoping to be back next week. So Tom and I spoke about what a competitive mode would look like. And we basically came up with a bunch of ideas, and then we were like rebutting each other why that idea wouldn't work. We didn't have anything this robust. I think this is really, really awesome, as you said. We were discussing like how would you have a 100-person tournament, like, you know, like in real life trading card games have these big tournaments. How could you do something feasible like that in Marvel Snap? And this makes complete sense where you play, you know, a game where you have 10 health, and so the snapping mechanic matters. And I guess you could even take it further in having like a best of 3 where you maybe use different decks. So like maybe you and I would verse each other with a deck. Like you use your Mr. Negative deck, I use my Sandman deck. Say you win the game, now you have to switch decks to your second deck.
That may not work if I haven't unlocked the cards unless friendlies are open to all cards, or I guess in a competitive sense, you essentially should have unlocked all cards.
Yeah, if you don't have the card, then you can't build that deck. Like you build the decks that you can build. No, not like we're using each other's decks. I mean, like you have to have 2 decks ready.
Oh yes.
So you have 2 decks, and then you play with your first deck, and then if you win with it, you got to switch to your second deck. Like just so it's not like a.
Yes, I know what you're saying now. Like, what other game uses that? I've played a game like that with you.
Keyforge.
Yes,
Keyforge. You have to pick 2 decks. So I'm just thinking like in a more robust, like I guess if we were playing like a best of 1, 10 health, like some bad RNG could just have you lose the game. So I guess I'm just trying to think of like a more, I guess, like less RNG sort of thing. But as a start, I think this is absolutely amazing. If you had a 100-person tournament, you could now have like an elimination, or even you could even have like Swiss rounds where you play like, you know, like 8 Swiss rounds, and like because you will now have a winner and a loser of each round.
It's a really, really good idea. I had not thought of anything similar to this.
Nah, neither did I. We spoke about things to do with snapping and the cubes, but nothing like this. Like it's actually really simple, but it just makes sense. I'm really excited. I can't wait for this to come out. I keep saying the PC thing is the thing I'm most excited for, but I think like a battle mode versus friends is amazing. I really hope it comes like out of all the things in development, that like unranked mode, get out of here. That can be after battle mode. I agree.
Exciting. I'm not really worried about an unranked mode personally, because
all right,
like
Mr. Infinite.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. But I stuff around with decks in ranked. Yeah. Like it's not a huge deal for me.
I think if you're like grinding out, like I can understand if you want to test out decks that you know might not be good, and so you don't want to like tank your rank. So I understand an unranked mode. I couldn't. All I could imagine using an unranked mode for is that like I'll play like 3 or 4 games with an untried deck, and then if it's like, well, let's say even 10 games, and then I go, yeah, this is good. I'm gonna go play it in ranked. Like I think my end goal is always going to be play ranked.
The only bad thing about that is I bet you'll come across decks in unranked mode that are also just people trying out random decks.
For sure.
So you're not like, and then you bring that deck to ranked if it did well, and you may just get smashed. But anyway,
So yeah,
I think they do need the unranked mode.
Yeah, so we'll get into unranked. So we've got battle mode. Very excited for it. Can't wait to smash Justin in Marvel Snap.
Yeah, we'll see about
we'll
that.
We'll see if you pull that Mr. Negative deck out. I might be eating my words. But I'm excited for it because like me doing YouTube videos and stuff, it's there's no real like we could do like we both play the game and see how many cubes we get, but nothing's better. Like nothing, I can't imagine anything better than having a tournament with 8 people and just like playing like a elimination tournament. Oh man, I'm so excited.
Yeah, even just a tournament. Yeah, like you're saying, just a tournament between us, mate. Like we have a group of people that play Marvel Snap. A tournament between us, it will be awesome, and winner gets bragging rights.
We could have like a monthly. We could do like a monthly Infinite Snap, like a bonus episode, or even like a stream.
It. That'd be so cool.
Like a bonus like Infinite Snap. We'll come up with a name where we do like a maybe like a 16-person elimination and have like a prize for the top 3 or whatever. Oh man, I'm excited. All right, let's continue. Or we could talk about battle mode for ages.
Yeah.
What's unranked mode? In unranked mode, players face off against other players without the risk of losing ranks or cosmic cubes while still making progress on your missions. This is the perfect place to test new decks and strategies. Okay, so unranked will still complete your missions, which I guess could be if you just need. That's probably
good.
What I'll use it. That's probably what you'd use it for.
Yeah, I think that's good. Some of the missions, like when you had to use Jessica Jones or something along those lines, you just dropped to like 5 rank in the space of like 10 minutes playing because she was so trash.
Yeah.
Doing missions in unranked mode, I think that's the right idea.
I think like it'll be funny because it'll be like, oh, play 6 1-cost cards. Cool. I'll just build a deck of 12 1-cost cards and play unranked. But no, I think that's fine. The missions. Completing missions doesn't affect, your match. Your opponent doesn't get stronger because they've completed their missions. So just having a way to do your missions without losing rank, I think is fine. And I think good for new players. Like they don't have to be stressed about losing cubes. They can just get used to all the cards. I guess you could play out games and learn. It's actually, now that I think about it, really good for learning what cards beat your deck. Like when
you should retreat and when you shouldn't retreat, so, you can play out games and see what the outcome was.
That's right. Yeah. So I like whenever I'm making videos, I generally always play out the games, even if I'm like 95% sure I'm going to lose, just so we can see what the outcome was. So I guess this would be a great learning resource for players to find out what cards beat their deck, or start learning the percentages. Like you might think this is a 50-50 and then you see the outcome and realize, I couldn't have won no matter what. So yeah, I actually think that's another great use for unranked, which I don't think anyone's really I don't think people have been crying out for an unranked mode for that reason, but I think it is definitely a very valid reason.
So are we not getting those modes at global launch?
No.
Yeah, okay.
So this is in development stuff, which up here is...
I would have hoped that we'd be getting at least one of those sooner.
Yeah, so it says in development is being developed, iterated, and improved upon. Our production team dedicates resources, generates tasks, timers, ensures we're moving forward. Features and systems in this bucket can change dramatically. We might find our initial idea wasn't fun, or we might discover we can achieve our goals in a totally unexpected way. So this is stuff that's being worked on right now, but it's not. It's not coming out next month. Sort of thing. This is just stuff that they are actively working on. So cool. on including in this in development section, we've got collector tokens. What are collector tokens? We love that everyone has a unique collection and gets to enjoy the fun of collecting. However, one of the most frequent requests we hear from the community is the ability to target specific cards for your collection. Maybe you're waiting on death to complete your destroy deck. Haha. Sucks to be me. Or Hella for your discard deck, which I also don't have. Collector tokens are a new free currency earned on the collection level road that can be used to unlock the cards you want most in the shop. And then in brackets it says, with the addition of collector's tokens, we will be significantly dropping the amount of boosters from collector's caches and reserves. So they're going to be replacing the boosters with collector's tokens. Better than boosters?
I think that's the right decision, just because global launch is coming and people some people have played the game for months. Some have just picked it up.
Yeah.
With the collector's tokens, if you really want to make a deck, and it's going to take you, I still haven't unlocked all the cards. We've been playing for a few
For
months.
months, yeah.
At least the new players can, if they know that they want a specific deck, they've watched content creators like you and see a deck that they like and whatever. At least they can aim towards that and get like a usable deck or a competitive deck that they can play against with these collector's tokens. So I think that's pretty cool.
100%. I think the worst thing right now is someone tweets this awesome deck list, and I go, "Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I'll try it out." And then I go, "Yeah, I don't have that card. Oh, that's literally the most important card in the deck." Well, never mind. Or watch a video and you go, "Oh, this guy's really cool. I like their videos. I like this deck list. Oh, I can't play it. Oh, what's their next video? Oh, it's another pool 3 card I don't have." And then you go, well, "Why am I looking up all these deck lists? Like I want to play. I want to play like, my friends playing this cool deck. They sent me the deck list. I think I asked like you and Tom to send me like 2-3 deck lists and to like try out, and every single deck list you guys sent me, I was missing at least one card. And it becomes like completely like we just can't share deck lists with each other right now. Whereas
although in saying that, I hope that they don't overdo it with the collector's tokens, and that I hope that it doesn't become easy to get 12 cards and make a deck.
Yes, so
having none of them, just because that'll take away completely from the collectors. What do we call it now?
Collectors, the boosters, collection level.
Collection level. Then what's the point of having a collection level?
I'm glad you brought that up, Justin. So the next part of this collector's tokens is the token shop will feature a card you don't own every 8 hours. If you don't have enough tokens yet, players can freeze the shop to lock in their targeted card. So you will only be offered one card you don't have every 8 hours. So you're not going to just be like, "Oh yeah, I want Hela. I'm going to craft Hela now with my tokens." You still need to wait for it. So if you're missing 30 cards, every 8 hours one card is shown. Let's say there's no duplicates. 30 times 8. That's you're not just every day getting whatever new card you want. You're actually you're actually 240 hours, 24 hours in a day.
10 days.
There you go. Boom. That was your math. I was doing the noise, but your brain was thinking. I was actually not doing the math at all. I'm actually not even that bad at math. I think I just completely just shut down when we're on stream, on the podcast. So, you're not just picking cards. It's not like a crafting system where you just craft whatever cards you want. So you're still going to have to unlock cards. I guess the more you go up in the collection level, the more likely the card you want is going to show up in the shop because you'll have less cards unlocked. It does say you can freeze a card, so if you don't have enough tokens yet, I guess once the card you want shows up, you can lock it in there. But that also means you're not going to be seeing any new cards until you purchase it. So, like it says here, this isn't meant to be the primary way to earn new cards, but being able to toggle a couple of cards you want should allow you to build the deck of your dreams.
I think that's cool.
I think it's cool. I think as long as they don't overdo the collector's tokens where you can, which they obviously won't. Like if you could just buy the card every 8 hours, then you just get your collection completed like insanely fast. I reckon they're probably gonna. It's hard to say, but let's say they made it possible to pick a card every. I don't know. What do you want to say? Week?
Yeah, I'd say a week. If you could, if it was like doable to get enough collector's tokens to get one card every week, I'd say that's fair.
So there's a new card every 8 hours. So in a week, you'd get to see 21 cards that you haven't unlocked. So surely you're going to find something there that you want, and then every week get one card. I think that's cool.
Plus, you're unlocking cards in that week in the meantime.
That's right.
So it's
So cool. Collector's tokens, welcome. I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about that. And then last up, we have In Concept. So this is going to be, so it says we have big dreams about what we'd like to bring to the future of marvelsnap. First step towards these dreams are turning ideas into concepts through discussion, documentation, and planning. This feels like such a work. I feel like I'm just reading like a work document. Like the first step towards these dreams are turning ideas into concepts through discussion, documentation, and planning. I guess technically for them it's work. For Second Dinner, it's definitely work. So things that are in concept phase are going to be stuff that's like they've thought about, but they haven't actually started developing or doing any engineering in the game. So I guess these are just ideas that the team will eventually work on, I guess, once the other stuff is completed. So we've got here new competitive modes, guilds, so like a social system, which I haven't really seen in a trading card game or a digital trading card game. So I think that's cool. It's very RPG, but
I never end up in any game if there are guilds. It's always like a cool idea, but then I don't know. I always drop off. Like, yeah,
Justin,
it's cool though.
We can have the Infinite Snap Guild.
Yeah, that's true. It is cool. It's definitely cool.
I think it's great for like just community building. Really, I think it's I think it's cool. Like you can have your own like group of friends and like people that can hang out and like play games and I don't know, maybe share deck lists and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can
like,
meet people on there as well.
Like,
and yeah,
recently we had the Sword and Shield event, like Hydra versus Shield. You could like have like your guilds try and like in the month they have to like earn points by doing specific things, and like the top one gets like a cool like title or something, even something simple like that. I think is really cool. In-game events, so I guess that will be something similar to Nexus events, but
let's hope not.
I'd say obviously they've put that on the back burner because they want to iron out any kinks in the system, which I don't think I met anyone who enjoyed the Nexus event. Yep, hopefully we get some fun, cool in-game events. I guess the Sword and Shield Hydra stuff was kind of like, those things were kind of events where you like put your points in, but I guess there was no actual reward at the end of it. So hopefully we get something like that, but with I guess a reward system. Infinity Rank Leaderboard. This to me is like just a must. I think getting to Infinite Rank is like a great achievement, but then after that, there's really no incentive to keep going. Whereas with a ranked leaderboard, it would give you an incentive to try and get higher on the leaderboard. So, one day I'm going to see Justin at the #1 rank in the world, the best Marvel Snap player that there ever was, and
that is definitely going to happen.
Yeah, there we go. You've spoken it into existence. But I actually have something to achieve, and Hearthstone have a system like this. When you get to the legend rank, you get a number. So like you'll be like legend 10,000, and then every win that number gets smaller and smaller until you're #1, and that is essentially your ranked leaderboard. If you get to legend 1, you are the #1 ranked player at that moment. So I think that's really, I think an infinity ranked leaderboard is it's not a must right now because the game is still growing. But I think if you're a competitive player, you hit infinity every season. Once you've hit infinity, other than like testing out decks and new cards, you kind of lose.
The game will get quite stale
for sure. Like if
you keep hitting infinite every season and there's no incentive to get to say rank 200, then
that's right.
You're only playing for fun.
I think Infinity Rank Leaderboard is essential for the competitive players. They will love it. They want to prove that they're the best, and a ranked leaderboard gives them that opportunity. Collectible emotes and card emojis. Now we said that the emotes would become a big thing. I think right now having the emotes is cool. But definitely would love to have more emotes, have them in the season pass, have them collectible, be able to swap them in and out. Obviously, that it's on the cards. And card emojis, what does that mean to you?
Card emojis. Card emojis. I have no idea.
Card emojis. I guess like maybe stickers that you can put on your cards. That's what I'm going with. Card emojis.
I have no idea.
Or maybe,
card emojis.
Maybe when you click on a card, you can have like an emote when you play it. I don't know. There's literally nothing else.
Yeah, when you play a card, there's some kind of.
We've got.
I don't know.
In chat, use a card to emote at the opponent. Like I don't know. Time will tell on that one. And the last thing for in concept is mythic variants.
What? Like?
Oh no.
Where does it end? What is a mythic variant? I'd love to see one.
Okay. So here's what I discussed earlier.
And also, how much is it going to be worth?
That's so I don't know what a mythic variant is. I'm sure it's going to look freaking sick, but they're separate conversations. Mythic variants, I'm sure will look cool and be awesome, but we're already at super rare at 1,200 gold. Is mythic like going to be you? Like what is a mythic variant? Is it now 2,000 gold? Because now it's just you spend more money, get cooler card. Like fine, but like, yeah, where will that end? Like, you get a mythic variant. What, like, do you make it 1,500 gold? Do you make it 2,000 gold? Or do you make it like you have a 1 in 100 chance of when you buy a variant, it becomes the mythic version. Like, you also get the mythic version. Like, something that might be really cool. But if it's just another, you just buy this thing, then I do not care.
Yeah, agreed.
If it's
Agreed.
Drugor 2,004 in the chat, Drugor says 2,400 gold. Yeah, very interesting. I think great way to end the development roadmap.
I like Drugor's comment about the card emoji actually.
So yeah, I didn't actually understand.
You play a card, right? And this is what I understand from it. You play a card, and then you can make. Yeah, I understand. Make him emoji, so he taunts the opponent. So just say you play a Nova, you're about to destroy the Nova. So then you click on the Nova taunt. And so he does something to say that, hey, you know, I'm about to get destroyed and buff the whole board.
That's I mean, I can just see myself spamming it like I'm just trying to think. Like Dracula takes like a 30 power apocalypse. I just like taunt.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
That's a great idea. Great idea. Well, that is the development roadmap, guys. Really, really cool. It's great to see what's coming. It gives us something to look forward to. Yeah, really exciting stuff. So we've been through the new season pass. We've gone through Miles Morales. We've gone through this awesome development roadmap. I think it is time for everyone's favorite quiz game, Snap Who. Justin, do you want to take everyone through the rules? Guys, in the chat, really appreciate you guys dropping in for the first YouTube live stream. Really appreciate you guys. We see you there, guys. We'll chat after. Go for it, Justin.
So, Marvel Snap. Richie is going to read the ability of a card, the card's text, and I will have to guess the name of the card, the cost of the card, and the power of the card.
I need to find a card.
Yeah, I get 1 point for each correct answer to a maximum of 3 points. We currently have Tom and Richie equal first. They've guessed 3 cards to a total of 7 points.
Yes.
I've guessed 2 cards to a total of 4 points. So if I can get 3 points here, get the name, cost, and power, then we're all going to be equal 7. So that's what I'm aiming for.
I'm excited. Let's see if we can tie it all up, all 3 of us. So.
All right, here we go. You got a card?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
On reveal, add a rock to each other location for both players.
All right. I know it's debris. I use debris in my Patriot deck.
Okay.
Say it again, let me make sure.
Okay, so the ability of the card is, on reveal, add a rock to each other location for both players.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's debris. Off the top of my head, I'm not looking this in, but I think she's a 3/3. I think she's definitely 3 cost. Don't know if she's 3 or 4 power. But I'm gonna go with my gut.
Talk it out.
I'm gonna go with my gut. This is what first came to my head when I think of debris. I think it's debris, and she's a 3/3.
Okay, so you're going with debris and 3/3.
Yeah.
Lock it in?
Lock it in.
All right. Well, Justin, congratulations. We have got debris, a 3 power card, and a 3 energy cost. So I'm very impressed, Justin. We are at 7 apiece. We are
7 apiece.
Snap Who is all tied up. I thought you might guess this one. I was going to go with like something a bit harder, but I thought, you know what? Let's just throw him debris. I don't see the card that often. I have been seeing it on ladder a bit. Yeah, recently.
Yeah, I use debris in a Patriot deck that I muck around with sometimes. So
that's very helpful. Just
if it wasn't for that deck, I wouldn't know. Just
another card I don't have. Patriot. This is the Infinite Snap podcast. Is just going to be the card Shadow doesn't have.
You're missing a few of the key cards.
I really am.
I think you've got your Mr. Negative.
I do. I've got Mr. Negative, but like I'm bored.
You got like Sarah. You've got.
I don't have Sarah.
Don't you?
Nope.
Oh, all right. That's a big one.
It's a massive one. It's in so many decks, and I do not have it.
Yep.
Yeah, so you feel my pain now.
I feel your pain.
Cool. So that was Snap Who. So we're all tied up. That's very exciting stuff. We've all had 3 guesses and we're all at 7 points. Cool. Guys, thank you so much for watching or listening to another episode of Infinite Snap. For everyone in the chat here on YouTube, thank you so much. There's a ton of you guys in here, so thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. We're streaming it now on YouTube because it just makes editing easier. This will go straight up on YouTube, so you can, if you came in late, you can rewatch the whole thing as soon as we finish. Even right now, the cool thing about YouTube, that advantage over Twitch, is you can pause this and go right back to the start right now and watch it like not live, and then eventually, if you get to something you're not interested, you can catch up, or you can just watch it through as if you were watching a video, which is a fantastic feature, especially for a podcast that allows you to, I guess, not miss anything and listen to the whole thing. So, guys, thank you so much. Join us on YouTube. We're going to be streaming it in Australian Eastern Daylight Time now. We are in daylight here. Daylight savings we have here in Australia. So, Australian Eastern Daylight Time at around 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. So, definitely tune in when you can. If you're following ShadowDTV on YouTube, then you'll be able to see the scheduled stream anyway, so you'll know what time it is in your local time. Guys, official Twitter at Infinite Snap Pod. Go and follow the Twitter. We post deck lists, we post news. Some of that development roadmap I posted on there earlier in the week, so you'll see tons of cool stuff on there. Guys, excited to be doing the stream on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I see you guys in the chat. We've got a comment here. Can't wait to play Snap on PC. Same as me. So friggin' excited. Justin, any thoughts? Any last words?
Super excited to head off now and play the game. I'm going to try Miles out. Awesome card, way better than Nick Fury. Keen for this season, so let's hope that we can get to Infinite this time.
You have to get there now. You can't
get there.
Can't miss out on any more card backs, even though we know they're going to end up monetized.
Yeah, but
you can just buy them.
For me now is I'm starting at rank 60.
Oh,
so
yes.
You're starting at rank 70, so I'm gonna have to work extra hard to get there. But I've done it before, so
I'm gonna intentionally only use last season's Infinite card back just on anything I send you, just to roast you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll be able to buy it for, let's say, $7.50.
$7.50 in like 6 months. Nah.
Yep.
All right, Justin, thanks for another fantastic episode. Hopefully Tom will be back with us next week. Guys, thank you so much for watching / listening, depending on where you're listening to us. We've had tons of great feedback, tons of people listening on podcasting apps, which is really cool. I mean, a podcast is generally a podcast for listening, so glad you guys are all enjoying it. Infinite Snap Podcast is nothing without our listeners and viewers. So thanks again, guys. We'll catch you next week, and hopefully would have played with Miles a bit more, have a bit of a more solid opinion on the card. But thanks again, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.